Hello, Solstice here, and to show you a bit on doing some redstone, like piston doors. Now, there's more than just one type of piston door. There are several kinds of piston doors. For example, this is a basic design for one. Like, say this is the door. It's not going to be open unless this lever is turned off. This is very basic. And you could always say invert how it's supposed to work. Like say the lever needs to be off, like on instead of off to open it. Hold on, like this. You can even like use a button for this, but you would need to like get through fast. But if you wanted to like work from multiple directions, you would need the main thing affecting these to main source of power affecting those to be connected to both ends. Like say around here, this would open that up. And vice versa. Now, commonly, what most people dislike about using buttons, though, is that it sort of doesn't last very long. So, commonly, people want a little more delay into this. Like, let me see. Here, 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 and there. Let's see if I did that right. Actually, better yet. But yes, you get the idea. You'd basically just like need more and more of these like extensions to the powering of this. Like just more and more repeaters, really. Or if you want to be a little more old school, you could do the old torch stuff, like before we had repeaters. This is what we used. Like I personally was around the time repeaters were around, but for some reason I grasped the concept of this before repeaters. Don't ask me how that works, it just sort of happened. Yeah, then there's thicker doors where it's too wide. And it'll basically trigger both ends at the same time. Unless you like start going crazy with like repeaters or something. You probably don't really need. Unless it's like unless you're trying to like get these a lot further away from each other and like have stuff in between, like here, say these were like a few blocks that way and this way as well. But you don't need that if it's just going to be like this. In which case it can be pretty simplistic, really. Unless you're like trying to have this work in a lever fashion with a button. A button, if for those unfamiliar, only powers as long as that bit stays like that. Stays in this inward state, which powers that. What you can also do with levers is have a bit of like a AND gate going on. Hang on, I need to readjust this. Like, it would take both levers to deactivate these pistons and it'd be open to pass through. This is called an AND gate because it takes this source and that source to be powered off to trigger that to occur. To sort of disable this. To affect the output. And let's see here. 2, 1, 2. If you like Redstone as much as I do, you've probably been trying to come up with stuff of this sort. Or already have been making stuff of this sort. What is this stuff of this sort, you may ask? I didn't really need to put these blocks here, but okay. Well, let me give you a little taste of the demonstration to it. See, I have a lever here. This spot here, down the center, will be already powered, and the pistons back here will be powered last. And what's supposed to happen is, after I unpower this, these ones will be powered more immediately, and these will pull them back. Let's see if that delay resolves that. And yes, it did. For the most part, this can be pretty easily done. As long as you know your redstone. But really knowing your redstone isn't that hard. As long as you, like, know how it works and such. Like, some of you may think this looks actually kind of basic. And this is to make like a seamless hole in the wall, and I need to put more delay onto these. Put those on full. Put these on full. Okay, so it's open now. Closed. And if you didn't see this here, would you have known it was there? Like, say this was probably just like some random hallway. Say this is like all covered up. You aren't just gonna see it and expect it. Unless you like find whatever causes it. But yeah. Moving on. Okay, let's see here. do I want to set up next for this? I think I know. Now, for some of you extra crazy about your redstone, you may like to use a few common tricks to situate a few fancier stuff. See if I can situate such a trick right now. I'm currently in 1.8, so I need to double check this still works. Yes, it does. Perfect. That was a glitch if I ever saw one. I just duplicated sand. Anyway. But yeah, that probably shouldn't happen as long as you don't like get too reckless about this button. But moving on. Now this is a bit of a design for making a lever functionality out of a button. I'm sure you already recognize that as this is a bit of a thing that happens during quicker pulses. When it comes to pistons, they are very pulse sensitive compared to any other block you may see. This is because it takes like a certain amount of. This is mainly because it takes a certain amount of ticks for their functionality. It takes them one tick to push a block and another tick to pull it back. However, they respond pretty quickly. If they don't have that extra tick of power going into them for carrying the block back, they are going to leave it behind, which is part of what this design is. I think the proper term for this is a T flip-flop. I could be mistaken. Don't take that as the definite term. And with this, the sand in this is high enough to the point where it's not going to keep this one powered by chance, and once the sand is pushed up high enough because of this piston functionality, with lack of enough pulse to bring it back, it's going to leave it up here, and the sand is going to be in the right place for this to power the sand block, and these repeaters can extract power from that to do what you probably intended it to do, which could very well be stuff like that, and it could function by the press of a button if you wire it correctly. Now, personally, I would have to say this is a little higher up than I would normally set it. And this is definitely not how I would actually like set it up for. I would not set like a door right here or right here. How I would normally set this up is something a little more like this, and the door would be like right over here or right over there. And this could actually be set up in a number of ways instead of just like a more gravity affected manner. For example, this could actually be set up to a more simplistic manner, like I just removed pistons from my inventory. Yes, I did. Oh, right, I remember why I set it up like that. Okay, so, and that is the main thing of the T flip-flop, generally. This is a 1 pulse lengthener. It gives exactly 1 pulse output, which is the exact pulse that forces one of 2 results from a sticky piston. Either it'll retract a block or it'll push a block, because it doesn't have enough power to complete any other functions. And this will be like the output, which in turn will like go to everything else in the Redstone design. For more practical sakes, you'll more likely climb up something like this. And let me situate where I want. Probably like right here. Maybe closer. I should manage it, I think. Let me get rid of that from my inventory. Let me grab some of this from my inventory. Now, something I haven't personally tested is if when it's in this kind of state, if it's powering this direction also, or so I want to test that actually right now. Okay, it might actually be. Okay, that's noted. So then, yeah, one more block this way. Just for redstone room. Okay. Actually, this doesn't even need to be this high if this is like this. Let me double check if this works. Yes. So yeah, it can actually be pretty simplified. This would just be like, it'd basically be what we had before over there, just hooked up to that, and it would just like run over and to the other side, and the delay would be set. Yeah. Well, that's all I got for you today. I'll have a bit more later. I am Solstice, and have a good day. Bye bye.